D2C is really hard, like pure play D2C.
And tell us why you say that.
We all know Andie and love Andie's. How did you even come up with an idea? It's a crowded space.
Yes, it is a super crowded space. And if I had done my research, I may not have started it because sometimes, what is that expression?
Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, yeah. I've raised $30 million in venture capital over the last 8 years. And now Andie operates at break even, but like it took $30 million to get to break even. So
like the path that you took with Andie is not possible today.
I mean, our best customers are buying like 20 swimsuits a year, and we love them.
Oh my God.
20 swimsuits a year? I want to live where they're living.
That's a lot of swimsuit.
It's a lot of swimsuits.
Hi, Melanie. So good to have you on Unfinished Business. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, we're very excited to learn all about Andie Swim, and we'd love to just start with you introducing yourself, what you do today, what brought you here.
Yeah, so I am the founder and CEO of Andie Swim. I founded Andie a little over 8 years ago. I cannot believe it's been almost a decade.
Wow.
And prior to Andie, my background was really in consumer, New York ecosystem. I worked at Foursquare, Kickstarter, BarkBox. So that's really sort of cut my teeth in the ecosystem here. Wanted to start my own thing. Launched Andie in April of 2017. And now here we are, and it's been a pretty wild ride.
Amazing. I mean, we all know Andie and love Andie, so we're super pumped to have you here. And a lot of our audience wants to learn from you on how it all started, how you got to where you are today, where you are today. Like, how did you even come up with an idea? It's a crowded space. How did that all start?
Well, thank you for the kind words. And yes, it is a super crowded space. And if I had done my research, I may not have started it because I would have seen that. I know, right? Like sometimes, what is that expression?
Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, yeah. Ignorance is bliss. And truly, because like, yes, there was a lot of competition, but now Andie's bigger than any of those brands that I would have seen in the beginning. So, if you have a vision, it's worth going for it. The idea came because, so I was working at BarkBox and we were going on a work retreat to a lake in upstate New York in the summer of 2016. And I knew there'd be like swimming involved at this work retreat. So I thought, okay, what kind of swimsuit should I wear with the CEO? And that question led me on this journey to look for a swimsuit. And I realized like, wow, this sucks, right? Like everything I saw was miserable. I hated trying it on. Things were like way overpriced or too skimpy or too matronly. I ended up with something I didn't really like. And then on the retreat, all the women were basically complaining about their swimsuits.
That is so true. It never fits quite right. It's always, and especially for a work retreat.
Totally. Like no one was happy. Everyone had hated the experience of shopping. And so it's just like, it's a shitty, sorry, can I say that?
Yeah, say whatever you want.
Thank you. Category. And so, that was really a light bulb moment. And I thought, okay, if everyone is complaining about this, then there must be, room to create a brand that's, by women, for women, that gets it, that makes swim that's easy to shop for, easy to wear, like that kind of thing.
Easy to wear and also adaptable. Like I love the one that you sent me because it's made for long torso.
Yes.
And like something like that, I'm tall. I never find a bathing suit that works for me. And that alone was just life-changing.
No, but how did you even have the it's not like you were a fashion designer.
No.
So how did you even have the confidence to think like, hey, I'm going to get into the swim space and design a bathing suit better than other swimsuit designers?
And I'm still, by the way, not like a I appreciate and understand swim fashion, but like, you see what I'm wearing. I'm like hardly a fashion icon in any way, shape or form. But
So how did you even start?
Right.
And have the confidence to start? No, really.
So there's two separate things. Confidence is something I've never really struggled with.
Okay.
And I think that can be a helpful quality for a founder. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm an only child, but like I've always been just like very sure of my own abilities. I'm sure my wife has a lot of issues with that, and we can do a therapy session another time. But so the confidence to do it, like I had that, but there's no reason to have it because I had no background and I didn't know what I was doing. I did a few things. This is totally random, but you know how on Airbnb there's experiences? This was like a relatively new thing in 2016, 2017. And there was a downtown LA like fashion experience where these like fashion girlies would take you around to little boutique manufacturers and teach you about like supply chain.
On Airbnb?
It was like an
Teach you about
experience.
supply chain? That's
Yeah, sort of like how you source like yarns and fibers
totally.
and then like how it gets cut and sewn. And so I did that. It was an afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably cost like $100.
Oh my God.
And like I just used that as my afternoon
Your
of like,
training.
okay, this is what a fashion like company would do. It was like they probably had little fashion.
Were you at BarkBox at the time?
I was working at BarkBox
Wow,
at the
amazing.
time. So I did that in downtown LA, and I was like, okay, I understand. You like hire a designer who like makes a sketch, you give it to a factory that makes a tech pack and a pattern, and then you find your materials, whatever that is, whether it's sweaters or swim, and you send the materials to the factory, and then they make the garment. And like I just understood that and I was like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And so the first thing, but I'm not a designer, so the first thing I did is I went on LinkedIn and I searched for freelance swim designer and then
cool.
hired a freelance swim designer to help
Amazing.
me make the first products.
And then did you make the products stateside or?
Yes. So in the beginning, and obviously this was like nearly a decade before all this like tariff fiasco we're going through.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, everything was made in downtown LA at one of those boutique manufacturers I found that did swim. And it was great because I got it also an Airbnb. I should thank Brian Chesky for this whole thing. I mean, to be clear, I don't know him and I paid for everything, but, I got an Airbnb for a month in LA, and I spent that month going to the factory every day. I have videos with like the it was guys and ladies cutting and sewing.
Oh, wow.
I
You
ordered.
really had your hands in the process.
I was
of
there.
manufacturing. That's amazing.
Yeah,
And
I was there.
Did you
rare.
quit BarkBox?
At some point, the founder of BarkBox called me and was like, "Are you still working?"
So I think that's an important lesson. Like you were doing two things at once.
I was. And
That's something we hear a lot, and a lot of times people will like wait or like quit their job and go all in. But actually, you can start dabbling into an idea before you do
should.
any rapid, like drastic change.
Totally. I did actually the first funding I did was a Kickstarter campaign in the fall of 2016. And I was still very much working at BarkBox, but I was running this Kickstarter campaign to raise a little bit of money. It was just I mean, I think I raised like 20 grand or something.
Yeah, it's like enough to get you started.
Exactly. It was enough to like put in a first order of fabric, and like the first order I think I made like 150 swimsuits or something. So not like 1,000, but also not 2.
So I'd love to double tap on this Kickstarter, because we always talk about different ways to fund a business, and like we've had 2 VC backed businesses that we sold, Leah and I, before doing Halcon, which is a bootstrap business. But love to hear about starting with Kickstarter. How was that? What was the process like?
Yeah.
And do you feel like that was a good first stepping stone?
Did you guys do crowdfunding at all, or just
No, we never crowdfunded. That's why I'm interested.
And now we have like such battle wounds from VC stuff that we're like,
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I do too, but I'm still in it.
Yeah.
So I had worked at Kickstarter before.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it was just like for me, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, of course.
As a way.
And you knew how it worked.
I knew how it worked. I knew how to navigate a campaign. I knew how to understand signals from I also knew that Kickstarter didn't have to be such a daunting place. I knew that, for example, the most successful projects were ones where the founder, the creator was taking like a video selfie and not these like high production.
Yes, all the things.
I knew it was approachable.
Yeah.
Yes, I had all these insights, and so I started with Kickstarter, and it was also a way for my wife, who's less of like a risk appetite than I do, to basically like allow. I mean, it's not like she could have allowed it or not, but you know what I mean, like to like be okay with.
Be more open to it.
If like, because like if nobody had pledged to this campaign, if nobody raised their hand and said I'm interested,
Great signal.
exactly, it's a really good signal. So it's
Still? Would you recommend that to founders?
It's a good question. I mean, maybe yes. To be honest, I haven't been in that ecosystem now in such a long time. I think it has changed a lot. Probably yes, but I'm not sure.
Do you need a hook? Do you need like an interesting? Because I know with Andie, you did have that angle that was really interesting. Swimsuit for every woman, for every body.
Do you have to have the hook with Kickstarter? No, I think you just have to have a compelling story, like why you want to do this. And my video was me sitting on the beach in Venice Beach. I'd like propped the phone in the sand, and I was like, shopping for a swimsuit sucks. I want to make and it was just a real, it like resonated with women. And so raised enough money to put in some initial orders, but more importantly got the signal that like women were interested in this idea. And so so took that money, hired that freelance swim designer, hired like a graphic designer to start making a logo for me. My wife came up with the name Andie.
Great name.
Yeah,
it's a great name.
It's a good name. It's like stuck through the years, which is amazing.
It's memorable, which I think is important.
Yeah, it's easy to say.
Yeah.
It also indexes high in like search indexes and stuff because whenever there's a list, it's always at the top because people just alphabetize.
Totally, so smart. Oh my God, so smart.
So that was Kickstarter, and then after the Kickstarter campaign, I decided I would do it. I probably quit my job sometime after that.
Okay. Once you realize there's a pull.
Once I realized there was really a pull, and I had already made some initial prototypes, and I had like 20 grand in the bank, and like, I mean, that's hardly enough to like go pay yourself.
Yeah.
But it was enough to like put in some first stuff without spending too much of my own money.
And how do you know like what sizes to produce in the beginning?
I just did an even bell curve.
Okay.
I think I looked online. And I did like, at the beginning, it was just extra small through extra large. And it was maybe like 10, 20, 30, 20, 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever equals 150. And I was like, okay, worst case scenario, if this doesn't work, I'll have 150 swimsuits and like I'll just give them to my friends. Like,
totally.
I was totally fine with this not working.
Yeah.
But then we launched in April 17th, I think. And April 11th, 2017 was our first day live, and we had an order, and it wasn't from like my mom or my grandma. It was like an order.
The first real order.
The first real order.
Who is she? Where was she?
Her name is Kristen Mankiller, and she was in Oklahoma. And I thought, I don't know if it's just funny. I just like her name is like burned into my brain because it was. I mean, I certainly don't know her, and she doesn't know me. But I also thought it was very funny that was the last name was like the first customer of Andie. And
that's amazing. I love it.
So funny. And she was in Oklahoma. So we had one of the things I had done was hired a freelance publicist in the beginning. And so we were in like Pure Wow and In Style and like all these roundups of like new swim brands.
That's pretty unusual though. I feel like with PR it's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, we've never been successful with PR.
It's totally hit or miss. I think I just got really like a great publicist.
That's amazing.
Do you still use a PR person?
Now I use like a whole agency.
Yeah, very interesting.
But back then it was just one lady, and I'm pretty sure her job was like to party with editors. And then like during the day.
That was good enough.
That was good enough because then it meant that when she sent gifts to editors, they would like actually open it and take it seriously. So I think she just sent little bundles of Andie product to these editors and said like, this is a new brand I'm representing. And then they included it in all these roundups. And this was pre-affiliate stuff, so nobody was getting kickback links for anything. It was like
just gifts.
They were just gifts that does not do it anymore.
And from there, so those were the early days. And now I think one thing that I think is really interesting about your approach to growth is about acquiring brands. Can you talk to us about that?
And congratulations, you made your first acquisition.
Thank you.
Big.
Tell us about that.
Thank you. Yes. We bought our first business about a month ago now.
Amazing.
We bought a brand called Rich or Poor.
Okay.
It's basically like elevated wardrobe essentials. So like tees and sweaters, sweatsets, sweatpants, all the stuff that people are, guess, not wearing much in Lisbon, but are wearing.
But I'm wearing them every single day, so I make up for that market.
I will wear it if it's coming from Andie.
So, I mean, athleisure will make it to Europe one day, I'm sure. But for now, it's very popular in the United States. So we bought Rich or Poor because Andie's had a great growth trajectory. It's been 8 years. We've grown a ton, but we've stayed very true and focused to what we do, which is swim. And we really haven't gone outside of core swim. And but we have this great audience, sort of like affluent woman who loves the brand, is sticky, trusts us, has disposable income and money to spend. But like the reality is there's only so many swimsuits a woman will buy in a year. I mean, our best customers are buying like 20 swimsuits a year, and we love them.
20 swimsuits a year?
Yeah.
I want to live where they're living.
Yeah. But that's not like the average customer. And so,
but still,
That's a lot of swimsuit.
it's a lot.
I don't even have a
swimsuits.
drawer for that many swimsuits. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, first upgrade your drawer, and then you can upgrade the amount of swimsuits you have. And so, but the reality is obviously most women are not buying that many swimsuits a year. And so I had come to the sort of realization or conclusion or whatever that we would need to begin offering more product to like really keep growing. And in a meaningful way. And so it was really a build versus buy.
So how did you do that? How did you answer that question to not just design your own line of athleisure?
I pursued both in parallel. So I tasked my team with like developing a mood board and like what would a collection of apparel look like if Andie were to branch into apparel? Like what would it look like? What would the focus be? And in parallel to that, I myself was sort of going off and looking for brands. It's kind of a good time because it's really difficult out there, and there are a lot of great brands that are a little distressed. Either they're running out of capital, or so if you have some money in the bank and you're sort of forward looking, it's a good time to be acquisitive and kind of get some good values. And so I was casting my eye outward, and Richard Borer came across my desk, and I knew the brand already. I loved it. I had a lot of the tees and sweats in my closet. So I was super excited to see it. And when I really dug in, what I saw is that it looked so much like what my team was thinking about already. And so I was like, okay, if this is the angle that my team thinks is best, and I like this angle because it's not so, I didn't want something seasonal. So it wasn't going to be like resort wear, because that would just get us deeper into the seasonal. And it sort of like had everything we were thinking about ourselves, but instead of having to like build it from scratch, here was a brand that was beautiful, that already had an engaged audience, and a lot of things going for it. And so we made a decision as a company that we would pursue the buy and drop our own. But the fact that we had been thinking about building in parallel was helpful in making the decision.
And so will you keep its branding?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
I love the brand. We bought the brand IP sort of like for a reason. And so we want to preserve the brand, preserve the name, the all of that.
Smart. That's what we're doing.
We really like it. We'll probably we're going to work on freshening it up a little bit, and like making it make sense within the sort of Andie ecosystem. But we love it.
And one thing I have a question on, just thinking about Hulkin, is, and even like, so both with Richard Poor and Andie Swim, is how are you thinking about like the omni-channel? Like, is it like D2C, retail? Like, are you going to be approaching them both? Like, how do you, like, are you, first of all, are you tackling both those brands the same way going forward?
It's a great question. We talked about this.
We did talk about it.
Well, I wasn't there. I want to hear
we talked
about
about Target, yes. So, I mean, I spend at this point, now that the deal is closed with Richard Poor, I probably spend 99% of my time thinking about this very question. And so when we spoke, it was probably a few months ago, and I'm sure my thoughts have evolved since then.
No, I'm curious.
Basically, like, D2C is really hard. Like, pure play.
And tell us
D2C.
why you say that.
I think the iOS privacy changes made it like nearly impossible to scale on Meta in a profitable way. I think it's just gotten so expensive. I think the heyday of like these consumer brands just spending on Meta and growing is frankly over. You need to have a lot of scale. And I just think it's a little bit of like, I don't want to sound so pessimistic, but I think this like D2C idea is a little bit of a false promise. And I think a lot of brands have, like Andie, have consumed a lot of capital getting to where we are.
Right, burning
a
lot of money.
I don't think today it would be possible to do what Andie has done. Because, I mean, I've raised $30 million in venture capital over the last 8 years. And now Andie operates at break even, but like it took $30 million to get to break even. That's not nothing. And
so like the path that you took with Andie is not possible today.
I don't think it's viable today. I think, yeah, I don't think it's viable today. But Andie's lucky. I mean, in many ways, I feel unlucky because, you know, the brands that came before us, there's BarkBox, there's Warby Parker, there's Glossier. They took, like, they had it great.
Yeah.
Andie had it fine.
Yeah.
The brands today have it bad.
No, so talking about that, like, so if it's D2C, like if you're saying scaling on Meta is basically not possible to do in a profitable way, like, so how are you mapping the path forward?
So it has to be an omni-channel play, and it has to be.
And what's the breakdown? Like, when you say omni-channel, like, what percentage towards, like, what is your ideal, like, if you had to think about, not even with Andie, like, if you're advising Hulkin, how would you tell us to think about the channels of growth?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know or remember if you told me like what your scale is or anything. And I think that like really matters a lot. I do think like the thing, I'll speak about Andie and then maybe it'll be relevant. For where Andie is today, I think it makes sense to get to 50-50. So right now we're like 90-10. We're 90% of our volume is Andie.com.
We're same.
Okay, you're same. So given the scale we're at, I think it should, if we can maintain the D2C volume that we have.
And then just build on the retail?
Yeah, wholesale, well, not owned retail for Andie. Because
but like a big box sort of.
So that your spend on Meta gets diluted essentially by these added
exactly
sales.
I think 50% there. And then I also think, and this is where like you're going to realize I'm really bad at math, the next 50%, so, you know, whatever that is.
150% at this point.
This is something that Andie's just starting to explore, but I'm very interested in private label and white label.
Interesting. We've actually been talking about this too.
Yeah, it's just I've started meeting some of the more scaled brands, and I've realized that a big revenue engine for them that's invisible to the outside world is private label for big box stores. You wouldn't even like I could tell you brands, and you know the brands. You wouldn't know that those are the ones making
for the big box stores.
Yeah, some of the.
Would you sell to the big box store and in parallel develop private label for them?
Absolutely. I mean, a dream would be you get a big contract with a big box retailer and you do an Andie line, so you're getting the Andie, like the eyeballs on Andie, the awareness.
Yeah.
But then you also offer a private label ability.
And
you know, after 8 years, like Andie can do it, right? Like we have all the relationships with the suppliers who make swim. You know all the places to source.
You're the brand to do it.
Exactly.
And
No, just a question on retail in general, because it is also kind of a dying breed in a way. Like we saw the Container Store that filed for bankruptcy, but now they have a good kind of bankruptcy, so they're back with a vengeance, and it's great for us.
Right.
But I feel like there's very few retailers out there that actually have that like financial health to sustain our growth.
Yeah, I mean, like, yes, I suppose that's true. But there are, I mean, there's Walmart, there's Target, there's Costco, and then there's like, you know, on the private label side, there's like the thing about swim is that basically every brand that you know and wear probably makes a swim line in the summer because everybody's buying swim in summer, so it's a good business in summer. But making swim is actually really hard. It's quite a complex apparel item with a lot of fit issues, a lot of technical properties. You need fabric that can deal with like salt water and sun and chlorine. And so I think it's a pain in the neck. I mean, I know it is for brands that don't specialize in swim or don't normally do swim to do a swim collection in the summer. So one of the things that I would like to do is start going to all these brands and saying like,
I'll be your person.
You're equipped to do it.
And how do you think
put
about
your brand on it, but we'll just make it for you.
So like one thing that we're talking a lot about as we have these conversations with like big box retailers is how do we not lose customers that otherwise would come directly to us?
Like, how do you not compete with yourself? I mean, I think
because even with the private label, you're essentially
totally. Like you are, and I think we're starting to, as wholesale is growing, and we have pretty big, like we're big at Nordstrom and look at some of these stores. We are seeing that some of the product that's available at all these, you know, Bloomingdale's and Saks and Nordstrom and you know all those that are also available on Andie.com. we are seeing some of that cannibalization.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because then the other stuff that we make tons of stuff that's only available on Andie.com.
Okay. Yeah, the exclusivity of it.
They're
Okay.
coming to us. So maybe they're buying their like classic black one piece
Yeah.
at Nordstrom,
Okay.
but then they love it.
And they want a
then
different
come to
color.
us.
So is that how you basically are navigating that? Like, so for the big box retailers, you have like less of an
Limited
assortment.
SKUs, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then they come to you.
Yes, exactly. And not like we're open to doing whatever with the retailers, and if they want an exclusive collection, that's fine too. But we will always have, Andie will always have our own exclusive Andie.com collections that are just not available anywhere else.
And my other question on this is that from like profitability standpoint, is the wholesale channel for you just easier revenue?
Yeah. Oh my God. Like getting a PO
Yeah.
from a wholesaler, it's
Yeah.
just like you're getting all this money in the bank.
Or is the other like all the paid ads,
It's
everything?
so, that's what I mean by like false promise.
Incrementally
like,
just makes sense.
Yeah, it's so like, I mean, yes, there's, there's like margin, like you take a more
Of
compressed
course,
margin,
and there's
but-
like all these other things that come part of
They're
the
usually
wholesale.
very hard to deal with from an
yeah,
operational standpoint.
there's that. But like, frankly, like, all the big apparel brands, and I'm just saying apparel because it's
Yeah,
me,
of
but
course.
it's,
Yeah.
all the big apparel brands are like the huge legacy brands have built billions of or have made billions of dollars in revenue from doing things a certain way, and you can still do things that way.
Yeah.
We just like started this like track of like, let's build this like swanky D2C thing.
Yeah.
But Andie is a good brand that I think should be around for hundreds of years, and in order to really do that, we need to be
The little robots will be wearing like swimsuits
In
while we're
200
all in
years.
our like pods in space.
Yeah. Oh my
God, seriously.
Is
What?
there water in space?
I don't know, but the
can still wear a
robots will
bathing
be
suit.
wearing them somewhere. What's your like thinking in the next 5 years? What's your vision for your brands? I say brands now because you just acquired 2.
Right.
And like, what will make you just like happy?
Well, I'm realizing as you asked that question that I neglected to answer one of your last questions.
Yeah.
I think I just went, which is just like, what's the plan for richer
Yeah.
poor? And there too is, I
To
think,
become richer and not poor.
yeah,
From it.
touche. Where's the drum kit? It's also to meaningfully, like, we will continue growing the D2C, but I think Richer Poor gives us the ability to go in. I mean, it's like a basics program. And so we can do these elevated basics that are, it's a custom fabric.
Yeah.
It's so
Oh my
comfortable.
God. I need to order like everything from there. This sounds like definitely up my alley.
And so like, let's keep buying brands and
Yeah.
and doing this, because there's so much opportunity. And so the goal is, over the next 5 years, I mean, I want to take the next 6 months to like really integrate Richer Poor and prove out the concept that we can grow top line. We bought the brand, but didn't really take basically any of their expense base.
Okay.
And so the hypothesis was like, we'd add to top line and like throw off more EBITDA, because now suddenly we have 2 brands, there's all the synergies.
Totally.
But we need like at least 6 months to prove that out.
Okay.
And if that is true, or seems like it will be true, then like, oh my God, we should be doing this all day.
Yeah. And now's the time to do it.
and now's the time to do it before things get like frothy and stuff.
And is Richer Poor in retail shop, like in Target and stuff?
Not big box, but
Okay.
it's in a lot of like small specialty boutiques.
And I know we're almost at time, but on that question, how do you think about balancing like, because like how particular are you about the wholesale destinations for your brands? Like, we haven't been picky with Hulkin. Now we're like, oh, should we be picky at what type of boutique? We have an MOQ,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
but like we aren't like necessarily deep diving in what this store is. We're just like, oh, they can meet our MOQ. And how do you
Yeah.
think about that?
I mean, what would turn you away from it? Like, what type of?
Like if they're carrying other brands that maybe aren't our style or a vibe, but so far we haven't done that. And I'm
Yeah.
just curious if you are picky.
No, we're not picky. I mean, I guess
And you don't think that hurts the brand to have your brand next to others, or no?
I think it's self-select. So like, I'll take Macy's as an
Yeah.
example. Something that like I maybe don't think is that sexy. But Macy's, you can still sponsor me. But anyway,
We love you, Macy's. You can sponsor us too. You want to sponsor this podcast?
yeah, right. I just didn't think it was the perfect fit for Andie.
Yeah.
But that's fine. They did a PO with us, and it didn't really work there, and so we're not continuing.
So
that.
that was
That's
kind
fine.
Yeah,
it
you're so
works
right.
itself
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. And before we close it up, like any words of advice for founders or today trying to start a D2C brand?
Oh my
Like
God.
what's the first step?
Yeah.
And
And what to avoid.
Yeah, I feel like I spent the beginning saying like don't do a D2C, which I don't mean. Like it can be so rewarding to build a company.
It's so rewarding.
So hard.
Whatever
so-
the company is, but
it's hard.
It's hard.
I guess I would say, well, first of all, like do it because like there's nothing better than trying something.
But do it while you have your job.
Yeah, maybe do it while you have your job, and like also maybe see if you can strike some retail partnerships out the gate, like launch in brick and mortar and online at the same time, so that you have two things going from the beginning, even if it's a small boutique. Like
Yeah. Totally.
that would be my advice nowadays.
Amazing. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of
Thanks
course.
for joining us.
Thanks, guys.